everyone. Welcome back to the Mendocino Migration presented by Nutribiotic. I want to thank all of our sponsors for this event. A bunch of players and businesses came out to make this event happen, to increase the payouts, to, well, frankly, help us film it. And so thank you to all those people, and especially all the volunteers who helped out on the course setting up and driving around the golf carts. And our current leader, Andrew Mcgill from Placerville, California, 975 rated. Interesting fact, he is the grandson of Tom Schott.
Legend. Yeah, Tom, if you folks don't know, just icon of icons in Santa Cruz, Frisbee and disc golf scene going back to the early 80s.
And Dallas Albright, making his way onto lead card from Boonville, California.
Dallas is seems like the guy to beat when there's disc golf in this neck of the woods. I think he's got 59 or 60 career wins.
Mike Sale tied for the lead with Andrew Mcgill at 1,007 rated from San Francisco, California.
Yeah, Mike, that's a good opening round. Looking forward to seeing some more quality golf from him, see if that forehand keeps working.
And Chris Basuino from Concord, 991 rated. He's been running club events and champion napper.
Yeah, big time. And the baskets that are at Little River were loaded into the Whirlwind trailer at Newhall just the weekend before, thanks to Chris, who was TD of that event.
Starting out here on hole number 1, big open shot to get your round started. 560 feet, and then a slightly more technical upshot to get yourself next to the basket behind this tree.
Yeah, back when I started designing disc golf on ball golf courses, some players would call this smash and poke because there's plenty of room to throw your first shot, and then the second shot is the technical one. And frankly, that's a lot of times what you end up with on a golf course.
Andrew throwing his Sirius Scorpius.
Pulled it a little right, so, it makes the upshot a little more difficult, but it's not a particularly tough hole. He should be okay from there.
Sale going with the enforcer here.
Came to play.
That's a good line.
That's Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Turn the cameraman around and...
He'll be happy with that one, I think.
Yep.
That one got over on him a little bit.
Sucked right down.
He'll, I don't know, maybe 260 remaining instead of Sale maybe only has 170, but 260 is still obviously something Dallas can manage.
And Chris going with a flippy D3. 400 grams, he says.
He's got
true?
A training disc? I don't know. Whatever it is, it flipped up really nice for him. Didn't waste an inch of efficiency in the air.
I think you threw the wrong tree.
And I think Andrew is throwing for the wrong tree.
That's why you got
my
the 15.
goodness.
Okay.
That's where the second tee box is, and
Nice.
that's where the basket is. Oopsie.
We were talking about like,
I'm like looking at it and I was like, that's the tree, right?
Wow.
And that happens.
That can happen. That's a nice approach. Perfectly executed. Little skip. Runs out of gas just above the hole. Oh, look at that. Does it get around the big tree? It does. A little short, but should have a pretty good look from there.
Yeah, I love the way the camera shortens the distance between the ocean and the players. And
Right. Ooh. Wow, that worked out pretty well.
slid it up there nicely.
I'm not sure if the air hockey approach is what Mike had in mind, but it sure did work.
This is that distance that you want to make to give you that confidence for the rest of your round.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's a good way to start. Yeah, you really don't want the tester, but after you make the tester, you're like, "Ah, that pays dividends."
Absolutely.
There you go. Wasting no time.
Yep.
That's a nice lineup of scores right there.
Mm-hmm.
I love these side-by-sides.
Yeah, it's interesting how different everyone's form is.
says the relatively young golfer. It's from my point of view, having learned to throw in the early 80s, it's amazing how consistent the forms are. When I was playing and I was pretty skilled, I don't think I would have ever been anybody's model of do it like he does.
Mhm.
No, I mean, for a lot of reasons, but many of which is who was I learning from? I was self-taught and didn't have the quality of video and understanding and insight that players have today, and it all builds on each other. So yeah, I definitely the nuance between technique is fascinating, but there's certainly a range in which all of these guys fall into in terms of how excellent their form is.
Mm-hmm.
Probably wanted to go right side of it, but snuck in front of it.
Now Andrew's throwing John Baldwin's Rock X3.
Get through. Wow, good action. Yeah, miss you, JB. He's an amazing guy, and happy to see his discs are still on the course. Oh my.
Nice, Mike.
Love to see that. Look at the background. I'm sorry. Every now and then I'm like, there's the ocean. It does not get old.
Yeah, and that's a long putt to
Wow.
start off there for Mike.
And the bunker is in play if you're high.
Oh,
I mean,
for
it's,
sure.
Wow. Oh no.
That's what I would do if I was on camera and missed a putt. Just go behind a tree. I don't think he actually was trying to get behind the tree from the camera.
I'm sure he's taking a few deep breaths back there and just like, all right, that's behind you now.
Yep.
Nothing you can do about it. He earned his way into this position. I'm sure we'll see some good action from him.
Yep. It's a pretty nice place to play golf.
Ain't it? What would you say this was? 50 feet? Definitely deep in C2.
Sounds reasonable.
Maybe 45
Yeah.
to 50. Yeah, that's a heck of a putt. And look at how calm it is right now.
Yeah, no wind.
Yeah, dead. All right, hole 3. One of the holes that when Derek and I set out to make adjustments to this layout, the one we played several years in the spring for the charity tournament as part of the NorCal Charity Winter Charity Series, we wanted to make the course harder and set up a handful of pro-only tees, or at least MP plus MA1. And this was one of the few, honestly, that kind of accomplished that. We put some teeth into it. It's still short, but there's things that can go wrong here. That double Mando for regular players is probably pretty intimidating. And you got to carry maybe 360 to get over this sort of marshy area. Whoa. Oh my goodness. He's not going to run eagle there, but he cut the corner just beautifully.
And
It
the
put himself
NorCal
in great.
and those NorCal Charity Series tournaments,
That's nice.
I read that Derek has raised like, is it 20,000?
No, add a zero.
Oh, 200,000.
Pushing 200,000 over the 7 or 8 years they've been doing it. It's crazy.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
honestly, oh, that's inside. Hang on, buddy. Oh. Did
He
that
pushed
work?
far enough and hit that tree,
And it stayed? This is the one hole where the red stakes are OB, and so he's got to be close to them, but I'm not sure. This is the touchy shot that, it hung on. It looks like a sidearm approach because of the hill there, but it's easy to have that thing stand up.
Bye-bye.
Oh, not what he wanted.
Rolls
Oh,
OB.
whoa. He not only went over the hazard, he went over the OB lines too. Ouch. Those were good drives, but their second shots were not what they wanted. There's a very nice approach.
Mm-hmm.
Seems straightforward, but it's a very touchy shot.
And you really want to hit that bullseye because any putts on this basket are tricky.
Yep, that's a good save right there. Hmm.
I don't think he's gonna meter off hazard, right? What if you hit the rake? I was wondering the same thing. I can't even touch the rake, man. Nice. Nicely done.
There you go, boy. That was good that shot sat down.
Mm-hmm.
Good hole, guys.
And then that's how you make it look easy. Yeah, let's get back to the Winter Charity Series. So I heard that these crazy people on the coast, and I do mean crazy, were playing trophy-only tournaments in the winter. And for you Bay Area folks, they have real winters in Mendocino. And they were filling every event. I'm like, who are these insane people? I reached out to Derek and said, man, I'd like to get involved. And they almost always fill, and they raise crazy amount of money. Each event raises money for a local charity. At Little River, they've been doing the Mendocino Children's Fund in recent years. And it's just a great thing to be part of. And so that's so rewarding and fun. And at the same time, we still felt like only playing here once a year wasn't enough. And so finally, Derek worked it out with the staff at the golf course. Thanks so much to Kathy and Lindy and Terry and Dave for their tremendous support. And so now we have the second event. It's like the next step in the fun we're going to keep having at Little River.
And it's really fun out there.
For instance. Beautiful shot. And then there's the up the middle shot. It's a baby flex, I think, for most players. Is that coming back? It didn't come back enough.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough putt to make.
It's runnable, though. It's downwind, and there's no trouble behind. Well, it'd be downwind if it was windy. There's barely a whisper of wind at the moment.
Yeah.
His body language suggested he thought it had a chance. Just a little more juice in it. Well, flagstick helped.
Yep.
Finally, Mike's turn.
Yeah, Mike,
There you
nice
go, Mike.
drive. I tagged hard yesterday. Totally redeemed.
I find as a player sometimes that when you are waiting for everyone to like make or miss their putts, and yours is like, I mean, not that one was pretty close, but
Yeah.
if yours is like any kind of tester and you're watching that happen, it does sort of ramp up the pressure because you are the closest.
I agree. I think that's what separates most of us mere mortals from pros. They find their way to find their focus in 99% of the time. But yeah, that can get to you. It's you want to be thinking positive thoughts, but if you stand there long enough,
Yeah.
you'll start to get worried.
This one just sneaks through those two trees.
Wow. Great camera work. All right, number 5 up the hill. Pretty elemental shot. I've heard a couple pros have gone for broke on this because it's kind of hard to mess up the birdie and have tried to throw backhand rollers. It's probably 60 feet uphill. And with a decent drive, they're only like 160 remaining. So I can see why they might roll the dice on that. But most guys, that's a choice to make. Some guys might say, hey, let's just make sure I get the straightforward birdie. And there it is. Wow, that's a good line, too. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, that is up there.
That's crazy.
Next level roller right there.
That was fantastic. Oops. That'll be okay, but not quite what he had in mind. Chris has got a sort of an easy motion you don't really see. He's got good pop. Oh, that's working. Oh, it got through that's one way to do it, is throw it as directly at the hole as possible. Oh, it never did flip all the way over, though. Oh, no, it's not going to do that, is it? No, don't. No. I was hoping it would go sideways toward the hole, but then I was thinking it's going to come all the way back to us.
I thought the same. Would have been great drama, though.
Oh, brutal. One problem with not getting as far up the hill. Oh, my goodness, what a nice get. Wow. Well, I was going to say he made the hyzer line a little tight for himself by being so far. Couldn't have done what Chris just did. The big spike.
Yeah, I mean, Chris is just absolutely parked with that shot. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that high of a line, but it worked out for him.
Well, there's two ways of getting it done.
Yeah.
Dallas with beautiful finesse, a little baby hyzer that flattened out and slid up quietly, and then the big spike right along the edge of the trees.
Sail for eagle here.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't think that'll discourage him from trying that line in the future. That was amazing execution.
Dallas said that he's never seen anyone get that close to this basket in the years that he's played here.
I can't imagine it. We actually backed this up maybe 20 feet from the usual position, and I don't remember even when it was a little shorter anybody getting close on a roller. This is one of the holes that, it plays the way it should for the middle of the field, but it plays soft for the top players.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's some of the holes that play softest for the top players. Elevation change is tough on lower level players. Scoring separation is pretty brutal on both the severe uphill and downhill holes here. When you start looking at the 800 rated players, they struggle with that. Man, look at that. And that's a pretty stable disc, as much as he got it up there, because it landed almost vertical, and it did not get over right away.
No.
It still kept moving. Wow.
He threw a Vandal on that.
The Vandal's maybe a 9-speed? I mean, I can understand that in terms of trying to flip it, but it performed like a faster disc. Man, that was impressive. All right, number 6. Little pocket shot from one pocket on one side of a golf fairway to a pocket on the other. We got in here and found this spider tree and dug out a little bit more of a pocket because it used to be pretty bland, just throwing from the edge of the mowed grass. And it made it a little tougher. It used to be kind of boring, frankly, and so added a little difficulty to it.
There you go, Dallas.
Don't hit the same tree.
You're good.
Dallas looks like
Go
a
ahead.
really nice line. Oh my. Yeah, I'd say that works.
Oh, I got you. In 3 months.
Ooh, a straighter line,
back.
but it looks pure.
Side door
Oh my
slipper.
goodness. That was a nice shot. It's hard to see from here. There's a little bit of a ceiling. Doesn't affect the shot much, but it does force you to throw a little more of a direct line. You can't get it up too high.
Oh, the tee was over there.
I don't know if that was a good kick or a bad kick.
that tiny little gap.
Right. Andrew finally got his putt high enough, but that one was not on line. There we go. Nice birdie.
Definitely one of those situations where Mike's putt, which kind of comes from very low places, perfect.
I think that's the most time Dallas has taken on a putt. Wow, 3-way tie. Yeah, I want to see this again.
Yeah. All right, hole 7, going through a narrow gap here, and then making your way through a bunch of trees. You kind of want to finish left to right. At the end, only 283 feet, but plays pretty hard.
Yeah, I think the fairway's no more than 10 feet wide, and it's a tunnel, so it's 10 feet wide for most of its distance.
Oh, fucking slip.
It's an interesting play.
Where's Leonard's other?
This is one of the few tees that didn't have the turf. The gravel seemed to work pretty well, but maybe.
Yeah,
Ooh, look at this line. Oh, get out of here. This is supposed to be a hole with a sidearm advantage, but that was gorgeous. That has promise. Where's it going to go? Oh, it's going to keep going is what it's going to do. Hit something.
Yeah, that's the danger there.
Don't hit that. You did hit that.
Oh.
Don't know how far that leaves him. Might be a tester.
Yeah, Mike.
That's nicely done.
Yep, right there. Did you all clear out this fairway, this green here?
Yeah, we spent a little time with some rakes, smoothing it out a bit. Mostly just trying to give consistent bounces. Figured disc would come in low and hot, and didn't want to see irregular reactions on the ground. But that's a lot to ask for in a natural space.
Mm-hmm. Some distractions in the background there.
There you go. Wow, that's a separator right there.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of birdies on this hole. And I bet you not a lot of them were backhand either. Good putt. Looks like a little breeze has come up now.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder if this is just on this side of the property.
I don't know. Usually, the tailwind is on a lot of the uphill holes, and then the headwind is on the downhill holes. And so some people have the impression there's more wind later in the round. You just don't feel it as much early on.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a beautiful flight. Hole 8 used to be the one hole that I thought was really an ace run, because you could give it some height and run at it without having to worry about going long or any OB. But the bushes have grown, and maybe it's still there, but probably you've got to hit a slot a little more than before. And with something like that, put it about 20 feet.
It's a nice contrast to the previous hole, which is very tight and wooded, technical, and this one pretty open.
For sure. That's intentional to some extent. I like to bounce things back and forth, show you different looks from one hole to the next. Credit to the players here taking full advantage of the, whatever it is, 15-foot wide tee box, depending upon the angle they want to throw.
Is that intentional as well?
Yeah, I mean, we're giving the whole width of it just because it's easier to market that way, but I also could see that it would open up different lines without making an obvious advantage to any particular line. And so it's good to see the guys recognize that and figure out their strategy accordingly. Oh my goodness.
Long putt.
Yeah, that was a heck of a run. Near misses suck, though. No matter how far they are, near misses. You get tired of them after a while. Where was that tailwind when you needed it to knock the putt down? Boy.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating, especially after watching the two other players miss, knowing that Chris is close.
Oh, no. Ouch. I'm taking a deep sigh, remembering what it's like to be a player and just feeling the stress and the nerves. Sometimes the whole group can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to escape it.
I'll get the cart, Mike. Get you up there.
And I wonder how many other MPO cards had no birdies on this hole.
Yeah, I bet you that's rare. I bet you most of these guys, if they played it 4 times, would expect to get it 3. Wow. What do we call these? I don't want to call them low lights, but it's not what you want to see if you can imagine the kind of golf you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is number 9, and this is a good little shot. Got your choice. If you insist on throwing the backhand, there's a gap to the right, and it's fair. It's a fair gap. Maybe it's a little tighter. It's certainly off the tee. Might be a little more generous near the basket. That is cruising. Ooh, I think it hit something and slowed it down, which might be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 277, and it's a little bit downhill. It's one of the reasons I think the sidearm might be the better play, because if you do get it in the air, the wind, to the extent there's any, will push it. Oh, look at this. Very nice. But see a little of everything. That's a win. It's nice when you see. Nice when you imagine different routes to throw a hole and see people actually taking advantage.
Yeah, but I doubt too many other players are going that one.
No. Wow.
Basically same result as yesterday.
Yeah. That's creative. And no, I did not anticipate that. Oh.
So close.
All right, no more near misses. Middle of the chains or air balls. No, I didn't mean that. Just middle of the chains. There it is. There you go.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Chris in the outright lead now by, for the moment, 2 strokes. Now from a fairly straightforward and simple hole to a much more complex one.
For sure.
Just like that, we've already around.
Hi, I'm Innova Team Captain Nate Sexton. Welcome to our instructional disc golf series. Maybe even bank over to the right, and that's going to give the putt loft.
All right, hole 10, and we call it the island hopper. So each of these flags is in the middle of an island. Islands get progressively smaller as you go. So the first one is 80 feet in diameter, and then 70, and then 60. And then the island which contains the basket is 50 feet in diameter. If you're not on an island, you're in the hazard, and you take a penalty stroke and play from the hazard. Generally, the strategy is throw for the island that you can reach without having to, push it too much. And if you miss the island, at least you have a decent chance to get up and down and save your par. So the two islands on the left are the first and third longest, and the one Mike's shooting for here is the sort of the in-between one, is probably the most popular choice.
And he makes it.
And that's well done. And so from there, he might only be 220 or so to the basket. He'll have a real good opportunity to get his birdie. Dallas hangs it out wide, but it's coming back nicely. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Fantastic. It's going to be interesting. I can't tell who's closer.
Yeah.
So the intent here was to create something interesting and maybe a little strategic in the middle of a wide open space. Just couldn't find any alley that would be useful.
Yeah.
So he came up just short, so he has to play from the hazard. The flag in the leftmost, longest island was kind of in his way, so he had trouble getting around it, and he still didn't hit the green. So I think he'll be throwing 5 from there. Ooh. Oh. Blaze the chains, almost got the eagle.
Yeah, pretty close. You could see the shadow just go right in front of the basket.
That looks pretty good. Oh, a little short. Oh, wait, well short. My goodness.
Yeah.
There's dense brush over the basket to the left, so I can't blame players for kind of aiming a little long left, but that wasn't long enough.
Still safe and not that far.
Yeah. The basket island is only a 25-foot radius. So if you're on the island, you've got a pretty makeable putt. Yeah. Nope.
Tough
Ooh.
when you're in the foliage, though.
There you go.
Chris been pretty solid with the putter all around.
Yes, he has.
He just missed that one, I believe. Taking the 6, which is tough, but definitely not the only one in the field to take that number.
In previous years, we made the hole a little too generous. Nice birdie. Where if you missed the island, you could proceed to the next island with no penalty stroke, but you'd lose the potential distance.
Mm-hmm. Woolly bear.
Nice.
Well, thanks for watching our coverage of the front 10 of round 2 of the Mendocino Migration. We'll be coming back with the final 9 holes of this event and see who we crowned our winner.
Yeah, there's some good action out there, and it's a pretty tight battle. So can't wait to see it.